I do agree that I think PC online compared to PS4 is way better as compared to the delay. And because I play often, well, I don't play on PS4 often, but I do play on PC quite a bit. Ever since I switched to PC, I couldn't go back to PS4.
I was actually organizing some Soul Calibur locals right before the pandemic hit. I thought, well, that's the best way to play. PC online is pretty good if you can get a good connection.
I gotta take the mask off just for the smile on this one, because I am PCMR, PC Master Race for life, my friend, so that kind of stuff makes me happy. The main issue with why people don't do PC tournaments is because there is no standard of controllers. So you can sit there and say that you can bring only like PlayStation or Xbox, like no designated working pads or sticks that work on PlayStation, work on Xbox, but you can't verify that on PC. On PlayStation, you plug it in, it just don't work. That's the end of that. It's your fault.
I think PSE just like blows PS4 out of the water. Like I said, there's a reason why I got Melty on PC instead of PS4. It's just because like the input delay is so bad on PS4. And in fact, I went to my first multiplayer tournament after playing on PC. Playing on PS4, it literally felt like I was playing on the water. Like, it was bad. So now for Melty, I literally play with like 2 frames input delay on my PC, which I shouldn't have to do that. That's kind of dumb. But I have to do it just so I can like simulate PS4. But I mean, yeah, I feel like just like fighting games overall, like it's just so much better on PC because it's so reactionary based, and we have something like PS4 holding that back.
But I think what Rushdown was trying to say was that he should just leave it for online for PC, which I can see where he's coming from, and I agree to some extent. But I think offline is still a different aspect. It's a different feeling from online.
I know Punk is a lot more about competition than a lot of people are. He is extremely competitive. So I think he cares more about just the game itself. And tournaments online are obviously fine for that and probably are the best place because a lot of people like to use their own PCs, and that's how they get the best performance and the best competitive setting. But it's not really the same as going to a local where you can get head-to-head experience, where you can talk to your opponent and stuff like that, get feedback.
As of now, I think online quote-unquote locals are still a good way to have that FGC scene, even as we're sort of ramping down from COVID, because some people are still iffy about it. So I think it's not too terrible to keep things online. And in fact, I drove up from Austin for Collisions. I met most of the other Soul Calibur players in this area just by playing online, so that's the only reason why I know about Collisions.
I do agree, however, that once all the equipment works, PC is definitely the superior platform. A little bit biased on that, but I do agree that PC is the superior platform. And on these smaller venues like this, it would be easier to just go ahead and get everything working. Maybe you come in before your set, 5 minutes extra, make sure the computer has internet to download whatever drivers you need for your setup and whatnot. For a smaller venue, for these smaller locals, it wouldn't actually be better to do it on PC. I agree with that statement. But yeah, for the larger venues, you really can't beat the standard that is PlayStation, or even Xbox for that matter.
When you're in the moment, you get those feels, those vibes and everything. I don't think we should get rid of offline. I think it should still be a thing. I can see some people were saying that they don't want to get rid of offline, meeting up with the homies and stuff, but that's completely disregarding the point. The point is for better play, people prefer PC. I think PC should be the norm, but I doubt that's going to happen. That we will probably have to maybe play on PS4 most of the time to adapt to get ready for the offline events, because I don't think PS4 is going to go anywhere anytime soon.
If you're going to do a big tournament and get all that money together, I think people want to have some spectacle too. So I think big tournaments are always going to have their place also.
I'm a very diehard offline person. I'm not a fan of online tournaments. Sure, it's good to have and a convenience of it, but it just doesn't simulate the fact of playing in person, having exciting stuff going on, whatnot, hype moments. When I'm playing online events, I may win, I may lose, and it's just quiet in my room, So, but I mean, for players that don't really have a scene to go to, or may not have the luxury of going to these tournaments, it's really good for them, so they can just play at the comfort of their own home online. But me, I might enter an online tournament here and there, but me personally, it's not my cup of tea.
You get to play a lot more people and meet new people, and you're not just sort of holed up in your own local area. So I think there's a lot of benefit to playing online and having those locals. But for majors, nothing beats being there in person, having a crowd, an audience that sort of riles up the players, and there's just so much hype and all that stuff. That is a different experience and feeling in of itself, and you really can't get that with an online major or local.
I think PC kind of spoiled us. I think so. That's what I truly believe.
When we were doing online, I guess about a year ago, we were still getting people signing up all the time, even if they don't always show up. Double, triple the amount of people who show up to locals. So obviously people want to do it, even if they can't always drive out up to where we are here. We had some people from Houston and Austin. Can't show up this month. I'm sure if we did it online, they might be able to play. Well, that's the thing. I do think that PC is probably objectively better, especially when you can do the settings yourself, make sure everything you like. But a PS4 is just cheaper, to be honest with you. I built a $1,000 computer like 5 years ago, and it can't run stuff like it's done, even multi-blood nowadays, which isn't the most intensive. So I still play on PS4 just because it's consistent for me and cheaper. So it's more of a cost thing for me, even though I do think PC is probably just objectively better.
But I can see why tournaments do PS4 and stuff like that, just because, I mean, I feel like that's definitely the accessible approach, having to troubleshoot like certain computers. I'm not too sure how much all that stuff would cost, not to mention, well, would a controller work on that? You have to do like a third-party application to be able to get that controller to work. Like, there's so many different like little, I wouldn't say huge inconveniences, but I feel like there's so many little troubleshooting mechanics things you have to deal with when running on PC. But I mean, I would like to see that. That would be sick. But I mean, it just really comes down to the TOs, really, because whichever more convenient with them.